Hello everyone, and welcome back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And in the last episode, we helped Menard complete a tournament and become the new Maester of Kudenberg. And now he is the, the Master of Longswords, or whatever it's called. Now, I mentioned in the last episode that we would be dealing with a new perk setup. Basically, I decided to take the Lethean water, and we reset all of our perks, and I have actually already allocated all of them. Now, what I basically did was I tried to lean towards less useful combat perks. So basically, I didn't want to go with leaving any perks unspent because I think that handicapping yourself to this extent just kind of it'll give you like a false sense of how the game is supposed to work, right? So at least having some perks, but just maybe trying to tone down the combat specialty, I figured would be the best. So there are quite a few perks, like especially in main level, that I didn't really change, but I did try to take things that would increase us for things outside of combat. So things like reputation, I decided to go for. Let's see, we already had things like Burger. We did switch from Martin's heritage to Radzig's because we already have very, very strong, survival? Yeah, survival, and our crafting's pretty decent already. So I decided to go for Radzig so we can get the archery and the scholarship skill going. And let's see, what else did we change here? I think Good Natured was another one, maybe? Maybe we already had that one. So mostly in the main level, it's mostly the same, but it's mostly in things like Strength. And Strength also had a new perk as well, so we allocated that. But I basically tried to go with stuff at least that only helps us recover our stamina. There are things like charged attacks deal 5% more damage because I don't really do fully charged attacks very much. And then like blunt damage of all melee weapons, we aren't using blunt, so that should be fine. Carrying capacity will be increased by 20 pounds. Higher your strength skill, the easier it'll be for to knock somebody out or kill them stealthily. So yeah, just basically little things like that. I'll just go through them really quick. And I will try to name off any of these ones I don't think we were using before. I think this is one of them. After performing a perfect dodge, you get 15% weapon attack bonus. That seems like it's a new one as well. And I think I also took... Did I take the fall damage one? Yes, I did. So there's that as well. And bleeding noticeably slower, I believe, is another one we just got. I think we already had these. Your health will gradually regenerate up to 50. I think we might have had that one. I think we were regenerating. And then, of course, speech I didn't really change much. I don't think I changed anything here, except I did get rid of Dreaded Warrior and Battle Cry, I believe. Yes. Because we don't want to... I think the Battle Cries are funny, especially the I Feel Quite Hungry one, but I didn't want to... I really didn't want to just have Battle Cries cheese the game so much, so we're going to get rid of that. And the only thing I really changed on Alchemy, I think, was the Poison Specialist. This might have been from a new perk point as well. You can poison more arrows from a single dose of poison. We may actually try to do this, and basically try to do a little bit more of like a kind of stealth-based play through it a little bit. May try something like that. I don't think I changed anything really on craftsmanship or drinking. Actually, maybe I did change one thing on drinking. No, no, I think we kept all the same stuff here. And then horsemanship, I just basically tried to, like, I got rid of Warhorse. Every enemy killed from the saddle increases your horse's morale. I think we had that. And then I did add I think I added the Ride Like the Wind one. That's not the one I'm looking for. We did also get Good Old Pebbles. Now, this is a perk that you get not for actually purchasing it, but if you have Pebbles go for, I think you have to ride for like 35 kilometers or something like that, and then you get this, and it considerably increases her stats and makes it so that she's actually one of the best horses in the game. So we don't actually have to switch to another horse now, because she is actually quite good. Yeah, I don't think... Yeah, this is the only one that I really changed to. If you use a quick start double left shift, your horse will briefly run faster than the wind. That seems like it could be pretty cool just to when I'm traveling around the map, but nothing too crazy there. I think I did get rid of like Hunt or Search or something like that, or maybe it was Body Heat. And I think I added... Actually, I think we may have had all of these. Anyways, as you can see, not too much has changed outside of the combat-based ones, so I'm not really going to go through all of that. Warfare. I think we had Hardened Veteran. No, wait, no, not that one. Steadfast. Which one was it? I think we had Head Protection. I took that off. So if I get hit in the head, that will cause considerable damage. Rock Solid. This is the one. Basically, where if you stand steady, then you'll get a boost to your armor. I switched that over to River, so that it'll be if we make a dodge. So I will possibly be trying to do a little bit more dodges, but I'm sure that I won't do it too well because I'm not really used to playing in such a way. And then swords, I just kind of like switched. Slice and Dice could be cool. Each of your subsequent sword strikes in an unbroken series will deal more damage. So that could be kind of cool. Maybe I tried to do a little more combos as well, potentially. And yeah, most of these are basically the same. I think instead of Opening Strike, I think I did Master Strike, or no, maybe it was Precise Strike. Anyways, and then heavy weapons isn't going to matter too much. Pole arms, I did go with the pole arms, take 20% damage slower, and I did this with a lot of perks on here, where instead of damage-based ones, I tried to take the ones that cause less damage to those weapons so that I don't have to repair them as much, but they don't necessarily help me more in combat. And I'm not going to go through the rest. This is all pretty basic stuff. I think we took literally all of the same stuff here, except for Crippling Shot, maybe? I think I may have switched that. So yeah, that is that. And I will, of course, show you guys when I allocate new perks, but I don't want to go through and take 20 minutes to explain why I made all of these decisions I made. But just know, I basically tried to do things that wouldn't cause my character to be too overpowered, but would still make things a little bit convenient for me as a player. So a lot of it is going to be things that you won't be seeing. But we're going to get to it now.
God bless.
So what kind of work do you have for me?
A job worthy of your skills. But first, just a little test to see that you're not as dim-witted as that arsehole Goatskin. What is Wycliffe's first thesis?
When our Lord Jesus Christ commanded us to repent, he wanted to believe his whole life to be one of repentance.
Well done, brother! Second question. Which estate has the greatest reformatory potential?
The commoners.
Correct! The Reformation must start from the bottom and ignite like a flame in the hearts of all, so that in the end the Holy Church itself will be set ablaze with purifying fire.
I knew right away that the people who meet here in the hole are a different bunch.
You thought we were just paupers who couldn't count to 5, didn't you? But now let's see who's the pauper. Last question. Who is the rightful king of Bohemia?
Wenceslas. There's no doubt about it.
Indeed. All right. Now let's talk about the job. Maybe this will disappoint you a little, but it concerns Wenceslas's brother. It's he who will secure your place in our humble company.
From what you've said, I gather you're not spying for Sigismund. It's rather the other way around, huh?
Just a moment.
We call ourselves the Guild. We profess the ideals of equality and brotherhood. Our only law is the Holy Bible. Worldly justice is as fickle as a common whore, yielding to those who are in power.
Justice for me or the gallows. Aren't you afraid to end up there?
Friend, one must be willing to suffer for the truth. Sigismund is a usurper. And the church and the magistrates are but a lowly horse spreading her legs for Sigismund. As long as we go against Sigismund and honor the scripture, our souls remain pure.
What if I go and tell the bailiff you're calling him a whore? Just out of courtesy, you know?
Go ahead. Perhaps you are one of the lucky ones who are not harmed by Sigismund's presence in Bohemia. Maybe you don't mind selling a piece of your conscience by ratting us out. As for me, I will go to the town hall with my head held high. But you?
Yeah, don't worry. I was just teasing you. I think the same of Sigismund. Tell me about your operation here.
We are who we are, and we do what we do. like the early church of Jesus' apostles, in unity and fidelity to his words. I'm in charge. I plan all our missions. Goliath is the muscle. Knuckles, well, he mostly complains. But he also knows his way around locks. But we're all equal. We share the profits equally, but we don't do it for the wealth. We want to drive Sigismund out of this town.
How can I join you?
You want to join us already? I don't have to talk you into it. That's great. We're not particular about formalities. Let's just have a beer, and then you're one of us.
Here's to the guild.
To the guild! That reminds me. I'd like to throw a feast for the poor. The bigger the better.
Didn't you say you were just ordinary people with no money?
We are. And this is where Sigismund comes in. Because he's going to pay for the feast out of his own pocket.
That was a good one. How are you going to make that happen?
Me? No. You'll make it all happen. Listen carefully. Sigismund seized land down in the valley near Pach and built his personal warehouse on it, right under our noses as a provocation. There he stores fancy foods and gifts for his commanders, and for that red-bearded gob of his. Sausages, smoked meats, foreign spices, and more. Fancy delicacies from Italy, Hungary, Slavonia, and all the other shitholes where he owns land. While we're eating porridge and cabbage all the time. You will steal all the food you can carry from that warehouse. And as a nice token, you will leave there... Let's see... What would you leave there?
That cabbage you said you were eating all the time?
Brilliant! Get at least one head from the greengrocer and leave it there for Sigismund. Let him eat for once what we have in our bowls almost every day. But I'm warning you right now, no violence. Don't even think about slitting anyone's throat in that warehouse. The job isn't to punish some poor sod on guard duty. Is that clear?
Got it. What should I do with the stolen food?
You'll give it to the beggars. Let them feast like kings for once. It's not hard to find poor people in the town. Just go to the gates or churches and you'll surely come across some. There are also tents full of them in Minor Street, Church Street or Cobbler Street. When you're done, come and see me and we'll figure out what to do next.
Sigismund will be fucking livid he can't enjoy his fine sausages. Can I expect any help from you?
If you need some tools, stop by Knuckles. That's all I can help you with.
All right. I'll head out.
Good luck.
You're new here, aren't you? Has Chenyek talked the head off you already?
We spoke.
I'll give you some good advice to start with. Don't listen to his bollocks about a fairer society and the honourable struggle for a better tomorrow. It's just bullshit to mess with newcomers like you. By the way, they call me Knuckles.
It sounded pretty convincing to me.
Aye. Chenyek can sweet-talk people like no other. I mean, Chenyek talks about sharing stuff fairly and how we don't do it for the money. But you know what? It's horseshit. It's every man for himself down here, even if they say otherwise. And Chenyek just gives it such a nice polish.
Are you saying he lied to me?
More like, he didn't tell you the whole truth. I heard from friends that Sigismund has a bottle of very fine wine somewhere in his warehouse. The kind of wine that you don't often see in these parts. I have a buyer for it. So if you bring it to me, I'll give you half the coin he's paying for it.
Well, I'll stick to what Chenyek told me. I'm not complicating it by stealing wine.
Well, that's a shame.
Chenyek said you could give me some gear too.
All that talk about equality, brotherhood. But when it comes to lockpicks, I'm supposed to give you stuff from my own stash. Here's something you might find useful.
Thank you.
Greetings. What do you need?
I brought you some food.
Dear God, I must be dreaming. So much food. It's like a royal feast. I'll fill my belly and even have some left over for tomorrow. Who should I thank for these gifts?
For everything, thank the local guild and King Wenceslas.
Is this how the guild takes care of us? Wonderful. May God bless our King Wenceslas.
Good day to you.
I did what you asked me to do.
Great! So you robbed the chest and fed the poor?
I robbed the chest and left the cabbage in it.
Ha ha! Great work! He's in for a big surprise, the red-headed fucker. Good work! What about the beggars?
I fed as many people as I could.
You're a hero. Folk will really appreciate that, you know. They've never eaten like this before. Now, that wasn't so hard, was it? And that feeling of satisfaction. We may not be any richer, and yet...
You know what? I'm beginning to understand the guild's modesty.
See? And now, let's talk about your next job. Just before I tell you more about it, try talking to Rat. I'm sure there are a few side jobs for a chap like you. And Goliath could teach you how to throw a proper punch. He's the best brawler far and wide.
Chenyek said you might have some work on the side for me.
Sure. You did a pretty good job last time. I'll give you that. So, I think you can be trusted.
So, do you have something?
You know the rules. If I tell you about it, you can't back out.
I know how it is. I'll do it.
Good. But there's a catch. It's not dangerous, it's just not for the faint of heart. You see, a certain mine owner recently kicked the bucket, and we need to bring him back to life. That Hanneman rot may have been a cunt, but he sure was rich, and above all, childless. So, by law, the church, the city, and that Hungarian horse son Sigismund will all get a share of his property.
And what do you want me to do?
Fortunately, Rot was vain enough to be buried in a tomb with his rings, and more importantly, his seal. Now do you get it?
Ah, I understand. The guild could use a seal to conclude a few interesting binding contracts, eh?
Most astute. Exactly so. Bring me the seal, and whatever else you find on the way is yours. Corpses can always be difficult, so if you want any good luck charms, just say so.
Where is the dead mine owner's tomb?
Right in the Sedlet's graveyard in the underground ossuary. Just look for a freshly bricked hole in the wall. It might be marked with something.
How do I get to the underground ossuary?
That's the hard part. But maybe one of the monks that take care of the ossuary will help you. There's always one nearby. You just have to figure out how to approach him.
What does the seal look like?
Nothing special. Just a bronze seal on a neck chain.
Good. Now I know everything.
So, break a leg, brother.
Tell me more about these thieves' charms.
One couldn't get by without them in our profession. You can usually buy them cheap from an executioner or knacker, since they're the only ones who can cut into corpses. Fingers, hair, veins, teeth, and fingernails. They're all good if you want to be lucky and not get caught red-handed.
Do you have one of those thieves' charms for good luck?
Naturally. Tried and true. Yours for a few groschen.
Fine. I'll buy it. What would you say to this?
More. By all means. Here it is. May it serve you well.
Perfectly normal skull. It's just lying here staring. With its empty eye sockets. God be with you, brother. Are you taking care of this chapel?
Mortitius is my name, good friend. Though all that is shall one day end. Fame and fortune are but clay. Ad honore domine.
Ah. I see. I think.
Though my eyes are old and dim, and I live apart from the world of men. I serve a cause that's good and sound, and companions have I underground.
But slow down. I can't keep up. So, you are the blind keeper of the ossuary?
You speak the truth, and now I ask, if you would help me with one task, will you help me take care of those who sleep below in eternal repose?
You need my help with something?
Christian bones in the church lie scattered. Bringing order to them is a very grave matter. If the prior should see the disarray, he'll send me packing this very day. Then what shall I do, sightless and old, left alone in this world dark and cold, roaming the earth with a beggar's cane? Help me, dear brother, in God's holy name.
Wait a moment. So, there are bones strewn about the chapel, and you want them tidied up?
Aye, 'tis a job that some might find morbid, but fear not, good fellow. You'll be well rewarded.
Wait, am I supposed to touch the dead? No decent Christian should do that.
Fear not, it is no desecration. God shall bless this congregation. They shall find eternal slumber, all arranged in divine order.
What's in it for me, if I help you?
To help thy neighbour is a virtuous deed, and charity thy soul shall feed. But if your body hungers too, some groschen I shall give to you.
All right, then. What am I supposed to do, exactly?
Arrange the bones in pyramids. Make them nicely stacked. Build one out of pristine skulls, the second out of cracked, the third then build from arms and legs, and here there's quite a lot. But bear in mind the commandment, thou shalt not, thou shalt curses. None of the commandments rhymes with that.
Steal from others, thou shalt not?
A pretty rhyme, I must admit, although you're jesting just a bit. Enough discourse now. It grows late. The task before you cannot wait.
All right, so if I understand correctly, I'm supposed to put the bones in 3 piles. Pristine skulls in the first one, the cracked ones in the second, and the third pile I build from the limbs?
As you say, so must it be. And you shall have a reward from me. To find the bones you'll be needing, though, there are 3 places you must go. But don't forget what lies beneath, and descend to the hidden space. Many bones lie there in darkness, waiting for their rightful place.
I see. So I should gather the bones in the chapel and the crypt underneath, and make 3 pyramids out of them.
And should any bones remain, such as ribs and spines, sweep them up together into orderly confines.
What? I should sweep up the remaining bones too? I better go before you think of more chores.
A trapdoor. Seems it leads down into the bowels of the...
Hey! Are you intact, my dear brother?
I nearly broke every bone in my body.
Ha ha ha! There's no better place to leave your bones, and that's a fact. But they'll serve you much better inside you and intact. The place you're in is black as night. I'll throw you a torch. Let there be light. Look for bones along your way, after all. In the end, you'll have some benefit from your fall.
Fresh plaster, cross on the wall. That'll be it. Damn, the seal isn't here. Somebody got here before me. I'll have to go pay a visit to the local gravedigger. Oh, damn. My back hurts so much. Might I find a new one here? First pyramid is done. Impressive, even if I say so myself. Santa Marie. If I hadn't built it myself, it'd give me a scare. Just one more. 3 beautiful piles. I'm proud of myself. The old monk will be delighted. Where did that blind madman get to? He was sitting here the whole time, and now he's just vanished. I should ask if anyone saw him. I'm looking for the keeper of the local chapel. His name's Morticius, a wispy fellow. Speaks in verse. I did some work for him, but he disappeared just as he was about to pay me.
Youngster, you ought to sleep more and drink less. Otherwise, you'll come to a bad end.
What do you mean by that?
Morticius was the keeper of the ossuary, all right. Only he died before you was even born.
What? Morticius is dead?
As sure as there's a God in heaven.
But I spoke to him. He wouldn't stop babbling in verse.
For Christ's sake, old Morticius couldn't even read, let alone compose verses. Are you sure you weren't imagining it?
Very sure. I have to find him. He owes me for the work I did.
Go back to the ossuary, then. You'll find him lying in the crypt alongside the other dead monks. Wait, what did this fellow want from you, anyway?
I had to tidy up all the bones in the chapel and arrange them into pyramids.
What? You fooled around in my chapel? May the Lord protect you if you've done any ungodly business in there. Come now, show me. What in God's name? You did all this by yourself?
Well, yes.
Well, friend, you're quite the worker. What a mess this place was. I'll keep it like this. People from all over the land will come here just to see this.
Well, that's nice and all. But I don't suppose you'll pay me for it, will you?
You suppose correctly. A job well done should be a reward enough for you.
Good morning to you.
I found the seal of the dead mine owner, Rot. Here it is.
Very good, brother. Very good. Did you have any trouble?
Just a minor inconvenience. The grave had already been looted when I got there, so I had no choice but to find and rob the thief. But I'll keep his name to myself. At any rate, the gravedigger now has a good reason to brick up the tomb again.
See how my charm protected you. Things could have also taken a nasty turn.
What will you do with the seal now?
I'll put it to good use, of course. But that's my concern. The guild thanks you. Now that cunt Sigismund and his councillors won't get a single groschen from Rot's will.
I'm glad to hear that.
If you're interested in some more work, or would like to learn something, you know where to find me.
Do you have any more work on the side for me?
Good thing you asked, brother. I've got a hot tip that could be worth your while. But you know how it goes. No job can be taken for certain.
By all means, continue. I'll do it.
There's a German innkeeper by the name of Bakervetz. That cunt backs Sigismund and is thick as thieves with his councillors.
I don't know him or the tavern.
Word has it, he didn't come by that tavern in the most honourable of ways. They say he got the coin for it by stealing with a pack of bandits. And not just that, they say the rest of his stolen treasure is hidden in the cellar under the tavern.
Interesting. But a little sketchy.
Sketchy or not, makes no difference. We can't risk Bakervitz cutting a cut of our pie. Get into the cellar and steal everything you can get your hands on. Just to let the innkeeper know, the guild has its fingers everywhere. Go ahead and sell the items, so you get something out of it. This time we don't care about them.
Very well. I'll pay a little visit to Bakervetz.
If you don't know where to dump the stuff, I know a place. Innkeeper Helga in Zurich knows a trafficker. Go and talk to her to make arrangements. The password is Big-Eyed Monkey.
Where is that tavern?
Not the tavern, the cellar beneath it. It's in the Italian quarter by the big church.
What exactly should I search for in that cellar?
I don't know. A hiding place or locked chests? Anything interesting.
Where should I ask about the trafficker?
At my friend Helga's. She runs Zur Eike Tavern in Old Kutna.
Fine. I'm off. I forgot the secret password for Helga.
You shouldn't get so hammered. Better to order a big-eyed monkey.
Damn. Maps of hiding places. Bakervetz really was involved in some shady business. God, a wedding dress? And with old dried bloodstains? Could it be some secret murder? A damaged statuette of St. Mary Magdalene. Certainly stolen. The question is, why did Bakervetz keep it?
Was wünschst du, mein Freund?
I have some hot goods for you.
Was?
Rap sent me to you.
I don't buy any rodents. Wouldn't you rather have something to drink?
I'll have a big-eyed monkey.
Verstehe. And who are you looking for, mein Freund?
I had a chance to get to know innkeeper Bakervetz a little better. He had a few interesting items hidden in the cellar.
A few rags and a piece of rusty scrap metal. And Red told you I know where to sell this stuff.
She just told me the password. Nothing about the middleman.
Na prächtig. That is the agreement. But this junk is worthless.
Bakervetz has influential friends among the Kuttenberg councillors. The guild will do well to have some dirt on him.
Gut, you have recht. But if I don't like it, we're done.
Ah, only because it's you.
That's too much. Gut, abgemacht. Here's the money. Stop by once you have something better for sale, mein Freund.
Lord be with you.
You said you have some more work for me. What is it?
Well, you might have noticed there's some houses in Kuttenberg with peculiar symbols on them.
What symbols?
Kind of little markings you'd easily miss if you don't know about them. But you'll spot them if you keep your eyes peeled.
What are they for?
Before we was here, before the guild, even before Sigismund turned up, this whole place was under the thumb of another gang. They didn't have a name, and they wasn't aiming at a greater cause like us. They was mostly thieves, but it was hard to get the drop on them, on account of how cunning they was.
And they use these symbols?
They thought them up.
And what were they for, these symbols?
It was a way of marking houses. One of the crew drew a symbol to send a message to the others.
Smart idea. But what's it got to do with me?
Being able to use them symbols would come in plenty handy for us. Think of all the benefits. We tracked down one of the old gang recently. His name's Hinek, but he used to call himself Greaser. He was a bit of a know-it-all and made fun of everything. I sent Hogg to find out the meaning of the symbols from him, but I'd rather someone else kept an eye on him.
Where can I find this Hinek Greaser fella?
I'm glad you're up for it. His house is on the edge of the check quarter, near the gate.
Hey, Henry, come over here.
Chenyak wants me to do something.
What does he want this time? That idiot would be better off finding himself a woman instead of thinking up damn fool shit. Let me guess. It's something real important that'll help us in our noble cause.
I'm supposed to keep an eye on Hogg, who went to find out the meaning of the old thieves' symbols around Kuttenberg.
And what do you think about it? Are you gonna help him?
I think so. It could help in our fight against Sigismund.
I guarantee you Sigismund don't give a fuck about no scribbles on houses. This is just a missed opportunity for us to line our purses.
You think so?
Look here, friend. If you find out something about them symbols, tell me. And I mean only me. I promise you, we'll make a fortune out of it. They ain't just any old symbols. They're thieves' symbols, see? Help me out, and you won't regret it.
I'd rather help Chenyak.
Don't be daft. Think about it. Shenyak's acting like a little kid, letting a great opportunity slip through his fingers. But us two would make a great pair, wouldn't we?
I talked to Knuckles about the symbols.
Let me guess. He wants to use them to get rich.
Well, yes, actually.
That's Knuckles for you. But I think he'll eventually understand it's better to think of the bigger picture than just himself. Nevertheless, until you find something out about the symbols, come and see me directly.
Halt! Who's there? Oh,
God damn it, Hogg! What have you done? We won't get anything out of him now.
Startled me there.
What the fuck happened here?
Well, he had a fall.
A fall? He just fell over all on his own and ended up like this?
On his own, honest to God. Fell over and died right before my eyes.
Oh, Jesus. Tell me everything from the beginning.
Well, Chenyak sent me to go and ask about them symbols. You know, polite like. Only this bastard started fucking with me.
And what happened next?
He was laughing in my face, giving me all sorts of riddles. So I lost it and gave him a bit of a slap. Only he caught another one from the table on the way down and it ended up like this.
Chenyak had a hunch this might happen. Did you find out anything about the symbols, at least, before this?
When I start seeing red, I don't ask no questions.
Do you remember anything, at least? Anything?
Well, he talked to me in riddles. So I tell him I ain't no little kid, and to talk to me normal like.
And then?
When he saw the smoke coming out of my ears, he said he'd show me some important parchment, but that annoyed me even more. Do I look like a fucking scribe?
Was there something written on it?
Well, how should I know? I gave him a slap, and that was that. Well, take a look at it yourself. I reckon you got a better head on you. Check his pouches. I can't read. Take a look yourself. I can't read. Take a look yourself. So, did you read it?
Yes, but unfortunately for you, it's another riddle.
Oh, Della!
Something about a vineyard and running water. I can't make much sense of it.
The bastard! He's fucking with us, even from beyond the grave!
Well, it's our only lead to find out anything about the symbols.
Oh, I don't have the noggin for this shit, Henry. Chenyek has the quickest wit of all of us. If you can't crack it, you can ask him. But please, don't tell him nothing about me.
Good afternoon.
Hinek gave Hogg a peculiar riddle, and we can't quite figure it out.
Old Greaser was known for those. Tell me then, what did he say?
A vineyard in the town. Strange, but who knows? And yet there it is, quite nearby, by the water that gushes. Now listen and try to keep your eyes open so that you can tell. Shortly after the midday bell, you'll find us where the shadow goes.
Sounds pretty mixed up to me. A vineyard. I only know the one outside of town, but Riddle mentions one inside of it. It must be something similar to a vineyard, and the part with the water might be a well? Or maybe a fountain?
Well, thanks. I'll see what I can do. Nobody's opened this door in ages.
It's pretty musty in here. This is no regular cellar.
This must be it.
A blessed evening to you.
I've deciphered the meaning of the symbols.
Fantastic! How do you manage that?
Well, it was pretty confusing. But in the end, I managed to find the old thieves' hideout.
And what about Hogg?
He killed Hinek. He didn't mean to, but he did.
That moron. Sometimes he snaps, and then people think we're all like that. And that the guild is just a bunch of thugs and ne'er-do-wells.
Thankfully, Hinek had a parchment on him that led me to the symbols.
Let me see. I'll copy them. These will come in handy. Imagine the look on Sigismund's face when his rich friends in the city start running out of silver.
Here they are. I'm glad I could help.
Tunnel markings. Great! And I saw this symbol for riches on the house right next door. You can go and check it out if you want.
Do you have any more work for me?
Not just now, but something's coming. I'll send for you when the time's right.
I found out the meaning of the symbols.
I knew I could trust you. Let's hear it.
But I think it'd be better if only Chenyek and I knew the secret. Just to be safe.
Are you yanking my pizzle? You'd be throwing away a great opportunity.
Sorry, but I've decided.
You're a fool, and there's no helping you. When you die poor, you'll remember what I said.
Okay, so that is where we are going to call it for this episode. Now, I was actually going to do every single quest that had to do with the hole in the wall there, but as it turns out, Chenyek, even though he said to come back at a later date or whatever, I waited for like 3 days or something like that, and I started to get confused, like, why am I not able to talk to him or start this quest yet? And as it turns out, it is actually something you need to do one of the main quests for to continue on this line. So I wanted to get done with basically all those quests in one single video, but we managed to make it through most of like the little tasks and things like that, so I think this is actually pretty good. So we'll just have to come back at a later date and do it in conjunction with some other side quests or tasks possibly. But either way, that's going to be it for this episode, and as always, I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.